more than the numbers, Marie, I would like our viewers to know that this industry is very special because we have placed the Philippines in the global map of professional services. There is no other industry where we can claim we are a leader. But in IT-BPM, we are a recognized leader. Hindi natin kailangan pang magyabang because the world recognizes our leadership in IT-BPM.
Hi everyone, this is Marie Ampelocchio of Breaking the Mold from Radix HR. With me, we're starting our season 2 with a bang. I have with me a very, very iconic person in the BPO industry, a very good friend, and somebody who can shed light on many things about what are the next steps in the BPO space for 2025 and beyond. Please help me welcome the COO of IBPAP, Ms. Celeste Ilagan.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Marie, for having me. It's been a long time that we have talked about something serious like this. Serious daw? Okay.
Seriously, ba? But
yeah.
we'll make it fun. But yes, it is a serious topic. But Celeste, before we jump into what I think is really a big industry that has been developed in the Philippines, talaga, with a lot of hand and help from a person like you, can we delve a little bit on your personal life? Like how Celeste started, where you are right now in IBPAP as COO. Bigyan natin ng audience a little backstory. Pwede ba? Like, where did you start? Paano ka naging connected sa BPO industry?
Okay. I am a probinsyana. I was born and raised in the province, in Bulacan. But I studied in Manila for college. And right after graduation, I wanted to land a job right away. And that was in government.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole professional career, I thought would be in government. I was with the Board of Investments for over 2 decades. And that was where I became part of the creation of the IT-BPM industry. Noon, nag-umpisa sa contact center yung tawag.
Correct.
It became business process outsourcing.
Mm-hmm.
Ngayon, we call it IT-BPM because it is the globally accepted name for the industry.
Right.
So it was the BOI that kind of identified the potential of this industry to generate a lot of jobs and also be able to bring in foreign investors. And that was where I was really very much involved in organizing investment promotion missions, for example, to invite companies to come to the Philippines. And then when they came here, I was presenting to them the value proposition of the Philippines.
Right.
Bakit dapat sila maglagay ng operation dito sa Pilipinas. And I guess the rest is history. With the many meetings that we had with companies from the US, Europe, India, Japan, Singapore, most of them set up in the Philippines and from a few hundreds in year 2000, we are now an industry that is 1.82 million Filipinos. Ooh. And we are able to contribute $38 billion to the country's economy, making us a major pillar of the country's economy in terms of jobs generation, service export revenues, and many others that I'd be happy to share with you later.
And I don't know with you guys who actually heard those staggering, amazing numbers that Celeste mentioned, but I got goosebumps. This lady who actually, if you caught the story, in the early 2000s, where the number of employees in the BPO space were only in the early thousands, today, it is now at 1.8 million Filipinos that are aligned and employed in that particular space. Hindi pa po kasama yung mga allied businesses that have been supported along the way. Di ba? Yung mga hotels, restaurants, stores, that had to open yet another shift so that they can serve the men and women that are working the evening.
Oo. Siguro, Marie, just for our viewers to appreciate better the industry that we are so proud of.
Yes.
Aside from the numbers that I mentioned, 1.82 million Filipinos, $38 billion, this industry really transformed a lot of towns and cities in the Philippines. We changed the face of Metro Manila, of Cebu, of Clark, Iloilo, Bacolod, Davao. These are cities that have become what we call centers of excellence for IT-BPM because of the number of people employed by this industry in those cities. So yun, we changed the face of cities all around the country. And after that, I am so proud to say that this industry placed the Philippines in the global map of professional services. There is no industry where we can be regarded really as a global leader, but in IT-BPM, we are a recognized leader. And yung pangatlo is we change the lives of millions of Filipinos.
Absolutely.
Looking at countryside expansion of the BPO industry, kapag merong building na tinayo sa isang lugar na may BPO, then ang daming ibang businesses that sprout. So yung retail, all of this overnight convenience stores.
Started to
Yes, they will really just sprout around. And then yung transport, because the operations of the business is 24 hours, then there should be evening transportation.
And the hotels, because the visitors coming from other countries had to stay here with us.
And more than the numbers, Marie, I would like our viewers to know that this industry is very special because we have placed the Philippines in the global map of professional services. There is no other industry where we can claim we are a leader. But in IT-BPM, we are a recognized leader. Hindi natin kailangan pang magyabang because the world recognizes our leadership in IT-BPM. And of course, yung isang importante that we should let our audience know is that the IT-BPM changed the face of many towns and cities in Metro Manila.
Absolutely.
BGC, for example, was grassy land before IT-BPM. But when this industry arrived, the city has been transformed to what it is today. And IT-BPM was very deliberate in its expansion. After Metro Manila, we said we'll go to the countryside. Cebu was the next hub, and then Clark, Bacolod, Iloilo, and Davao. All of these cities have been transformed by IT-BPM. And the list of cities go on from north to south. And I think many will agree that IT-BPM changed the lives of millions of Filipinos. With 1.82 million employees, they have family that they support. They have relatives that also depend on these IT-BPM players. And aside from families of IT-BPM workers, the other industries that have really grown because of IT-BPM, telecommunications, for example, travel and hospitality, it's not only the investors who come in who use the hotels. Our employees can afford to travel all over the country, and therefore, nagpapatronize sila nitong mga hotels na to. Of course, yung retail, we shop, also these convenience stores, magtatayo sila sa mga paligid ng mga BPO companies, and yung transportation, paggabi, di ba, 24 hours yung shift. So maraming industries that have really grown because of IT-BPM. So because of that, I am always really proud to talk about it. And I can go on and on to convince you. But I don't think I need to convince you.
I think our audience, because I was once part of it. I'm still part of it, but more from the HR consultancy aspect of it. Pero, alam mo, to build an industry from scratch. Yun ang gusto kong sabihin We saw it from nothing to where it is right now. I'm getting goosebumps. How many, as you build it, syempre there were a lot of people that came with you. Bigyan natin sila ng storya, like how many presidents did you work with? Because I knew, Celeste, that there were times na part of the sacrifice and part of the build-up of this industry meant building trust with the foreign entities. At hindi lang, imagine mo, you guiding the presidents of the Philippines to go to different countries and their organizations to assure them that Philippines is really a safe place to work in. So, bigyan mo kami ng konting kwento because I think you served 2 or 3 presidents at the time that we were building this up.
Yes. This industry started actually during the presidency of President Erap. our head of BOI at that time, Daki Fonasher, he was the undersecretary of BOI, read in a paper that the contact center of AOL was in Clark.
Okay.
And it was the first time he learned about it. He saw that there were like a few hundred Filipinos working for AOL, doing contact center. And he realized we can grow bigger in that space. And just after that, he called some people to discuss the potential of this industry growing.
Including Secretary Fonasher at the time.
At that time, Daki Fonasher, yes. He was the one who called some of the directors of BOI.
Okay.
And he asked us to, sinong nakakaalam dito sa contact center na to? Kasi BOI didn't know anything about it then. So, we went to the private sector, asked them who knew about it, and then dun pinag-usapan kung pwede talaga tayong mag-play in this space. From President era, it was GMA, and it was during that time when we already knew anong selling point ng Pilipinas. So
Correct.
we were telling our investors, we have a large pool of English proficient qualified talent. Yun ang best selling point. Walang tatalo. Parang
Absolutely.
And then pangalawa was, we said, we have the infrastructure that is needed para mag-host ng mga investors in this space. And at that time, yung telco industry, for example, is already improving. They were the ones who needed to provide connectivity.
Correct.
And yung third is, dun sa infrastructure, yung availability ng office space.
Correct.
Kasi it was realized by the head of DTI at that time that it is not necessary to have yung parang IT park na horizontal development. It can be a building that will host investors. I-declare lang ito na ecozone. Pwedeng doon lumagay itong mga BPO players na to. And of course, having a business-friendly environment.
Correct.
So dapat it's easy to do business in the Philippines.
Which is from the LGU side, the local government.
Not only, it's the national government. Kasi there are incentives that are offered for investors who would come in. And yung mga investment promotion agencies at that time led by BOI, and then ang BOI will say ang best na agency para kayo makakuha ng better incentives will be PEZA. So ipopromote ng BOI yung PEZA. So doon siya nag-umpisa. And after GMA, of course, nag-continue yun sa time ni President Aquino. And until now, the industry continues to grow. Our value proposition, yung pinaka-selling point pa rin ng industry is the talent the Philippines is able to offer. And hindi na lang yon English proficient, ganyan.
Elevated version at this point.
Yes, and I think what is being highlighted is, aside from the skills, the customer service orientation of Filipinos, yun ang sinasabi ng mga investors. Sabi nila, we decided to locate to the Philippines because of the Filipino talent. And what stands out also is the strong customer service orientation. Parang we are happy to solve the problem of anyone calling.
Correct.
Na ang sabi nila, parang kapag ka sumagot sa phone, nakasmile daw. Even if they don't see the agent.
Exactly. They can feel it. They can feel the smile on the phone.
Correct. So we have that kind of distinction. And, therefore, in 2010, we have been kind of named as the contact center capital of the world, not by the sheer number of employees, but because of the talent and skills and strong customer service orientation of Filipinos. So, mapaproud ka sa ginagawa ng mga Filipino BPO workers.
Super. Celeste, at this point in time, just digging one more layer, peeling the onion one layer open, what are the biggest issues it's such a successful story, pero the journey still continues. Diba? The growth is still happening. Ano ang top 2 or 3 issues of IBCAP that you want solved in the next 5 years?
Okay. This is probably ironic, Marie, but the biggest strength of the Philippine IT BPM industry is its talent, the Filipino talent. Pero it is also the biggest challenge. And I say that because we lack the qualified talent that the industry needs.
Mhm.
So the skills that are produced by the colleges and universities don't match the requirements of industry.
Mhm.
So, pagka nag-apply, hindi natatanggap.
Mhm.
And I know that you know these numbers.
Yes.
The
Yes.
absorption rate ng
Yes.
industry natin is very small, is very low. So it's 10 to 15%. And ibig sabihin nun, for every 100 na mag-a-apply, only 10 to 15 people are qualified.
Correct.
At ang daming jobs na naghihintay. Companies hire by the hundreds, di ba? And they are not able to hire immediately the
Correct.
number of people that they need. So yun ang malaking challenge. And how good will it be kung sana pag nag-graduate sa colleges and universities, qualified na agad.
Correct. Yung hireability nila is really
Oo.
solidified na.
Kasi,
Correct.
yung kung ano yung kailangan ng industry, sana yun yung natututuhan nitong mga students na to from the schools.
Right.
And hopefully also, hindi lang college graduates. Our industry is trying to get even yung senior high school graduates to be qualified for certain jobs in
Right.
the industry.
Right.
And therefore, yung collaboration natin with government, dito sa mga agencies that have something to do with education, sa DepEd,
Yes.
sa Commission on Higher Education, including TESDA, it is closely collaborative
Yes.
to make sure nga na mas dumami pa yung qualified talent para sa
Yes.
ITBPM so that we can grow even faster and even bigger.
Correct. And so you mentioned the Department of Education, CHED and TESDA, and I know they're doing a lot because I attend many of your events.
Mhm.
Yung malayo na pero malayo pa. Yung may narating na pero kulang pa.
Mhm.
What is that? Is it the education system that needs to be improved? Is there something we can do differently at home also as we raise our kids? Mayroong bang bagay tayong kailangan gawin para itong industriya natin? Kasi 10-15%, we can do so much better. There are so many seats, but there are no bodies enough to actually take those seats. Mayroon ba tayong one or two things na talagang pwedeng i-highlight as something that is being done to actually accelerate that number faster?
Mhm. Yung collaboration with these government agencies sa TESDA, for example, nakausap namin ang Secretary of Education and what we said we need para prepared even at the basic education level yung ating
Yes.
students is hopefully sana yung medium of instruction returns to English.
Returns to English.
Oo.
Correct.
Tapos pangalawang hiningi natin kay Secretary Angara is pwede bang include na sa subject ng mga elementary students yung coding. Kasi ang sinasabi sa atin, sa ibang bansa, sa neighboring countries natin, yung coding kasama na grade 3 pa lang. So dito, hindi pa siya.
Wow.
And yung pinakamalaking, I guess, impact na pwede sa industry natin is to expand we call it OJT program of a senior high school.
Yes.
Meron ngayon na 60 to 80 hours na dapat nag-OJT, di ba, tong mga students na to. They are accepted in a company, they do some type of work, mga 60 to 80 hours yan. But we know it is not enough for them to be able to learn some skill or to be employable. So what we offer is that ITBPM players will accept etong mga estudyante na to for immersion following a curriculum na dinevelop ng BPO.
Right.
Doon sila mismo sa company na yun parang magte-train as if parang newly hired.
Correct.
So you have the foundation skills training and then you have kind of the product training and then pupunta sa floor to take calls, yung mga ganyan. So the whole 9 yards of onboarding.
Correct.
Hopefully, we're able to, I guess, stabilize and then scale. Kasi pagka marami lang na mag-implement nun, tayo magkakaroon ng scale.
Right.
So we're waiting for etong mas maraming eskwelahan to be able to join that expanded senior high school immersion program. Sa college naman, there is now an acceptance and recognition na hindi kailangan na degree holder. Dapat competency-based. Kapag magaling naman sa skills na to, pwede naman to be employed by the ITBPM industry.
Right.
So, ang collaboration with the Commission on Higher Education is micro-credentialing. So,
Tama.
yan ngayon yung trabaho. And of course, sa TESDA, funding of a certain training on the priority skills na in-identify ng mga subsectors under ITBPM. So, kapag na-offer yun ng TESDA, mas maraming pwedeng matrain, funded ng TESDA, magkakaroon ng mas maraming applicants. To
Correct.
the
Who will qualify better and faster.
Qualified
Right.
for
Upon
what
exit.
we need. So, yun ang konti na ginagawa natin
Oo.
to prepare our youth for these jobs and the jobs of the future, di ba?
Correct.
Hindi yung jobs of today, yung jobs
Correct.
of the future.
More than anything. In fact, you gave me the right purview to actually jump to my question.
Okay.
As if the current issue is not enough, which is yung lack of talent, but there are things that are being done with the government agencies that you mentioned, which is SHED, the Department of Education, and TESDA. Pero the advent of automation is really an AI is not going anywhere. Talagang we feel they are here and everybody is talagang wanting to embrace it. But it seems like part of our industry is not very, very ready. Diba? Thankfully, may malalaki tayong kumpanya that has even their own AI lab. But unfortunately, not all can afford it. Diba?
Mhm.
So, with the advent of AI, will that slow down some of the initiatives kasi parang hindi pa tayo ready? Or are we at the stage where the preparations are really underway?
Yeah. So, Marie, alam naman natin that our BPO players, they will acquire the technology that is needed because our clients demand it, di ba?
Yes,
So, to
yes.
improve efficiencies, productivity,
Yes.
savings,
Mm,
ganyan. So, the BPO player will acquire that technology. So, it's not like we didn't know AI automation before.
Tama.
Marami have already been doing that. Kaya lang, hindi naman household name
Yes.
AI.
Yes.
Kaya lang naman medyo noisy siya mula nung yung
True.
ChatGPT became
Came out, yes.
naging buzzword.
Correct.
So, we thought it best to determine kung ano talaga yung level ng AI implementation or readiness by the industry. And the IBPAP conducted a survey last year. And what came out of that survey is that mga 68% of our members have some form of AI that is
Okay.
going on.
Mm.
But definitely, magkakaiba yung level because it depends on a client's requirement, for example, or readiness
Right.
to adapt yung AI-driven service.
Right.
Meron ding investments na kailangan and they are not ready to invest. So, hindi pa siya roll out na ganun ka-scalable.
Yes. Yes.
And meron ding mga industries na mas careful because yung mga risks parang that will result from AI, ganyan. So, careful sila. Halimbawa,
Right.
yung banking and finance, for
For
example,
sure.
hindi right away mag-roll out in a big way. So, kaya different levels yung pag-implement ng AI projects or programs. But one thing is really sure. Kapag transactional, repetitive, these are jobs that AI is able to really, hindi naman replace, but ito yung pwedeng mas konting tao yung gagawa,
Yes.
assisted by AI,
Correct.
so that mas mabilis na to ma-provide. So,
Correct.
many agents, for example, will be AI assisted for the efficiency gains na every business would like to happen. The industry is ready because we recognize etong AI, and therefore the biggest battle cry is upskilling and reskilling of our existing talent.
Yes.
Kaya ang collaboration with government for support in those areas is really very involved.
Right.
ITBPM industry has the potential to reach 2.5 million by 2028.
Wow.
So ngayon, 1.82
Yes.
million.
Yes.
So parang mga less than 700,000.
Yes, about 700,000.
Yun yung potential.
Yes.